Hey, hey, hey. It's the Chaos Queen here, and you're listening to the Geekcast Radio Network.
I know what you mean, Ferb. It does seem like more than 104 days.
Do it again, you idiot, and do it right this time.
Do it right. Do it.
Do it right the first time, you moron.
Okay, then. Carry on.
Hello and welcome to episode 104. Holy crap, folks. This is the 104th day of summer. This should be the end of this podcast, but it's not because we have more episodes coming of Phineas and Ferb. This is Pauka, brought to you by the Geekcast Radio Network. I am, of course, TFG1Mike. Joining me, as always, is PecanCtMichael. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Sometimes I wish it would stop, but it's going. As I said, 104th day of summer's day that the GCRN finally finds out all about the night of the Living Pharmacists. Lots of us, less of everything else, less of everything else. So, Michael, are you ready to jump on the roller coaster ride that is the podcast organization without a cool acronym?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Before we get into Night of the Living Pharmacists, I was curious because the lovely people over at the Phineas and Ferb wiki who provide all of this for us, they are amazing, and holy crap. I was curious between, I believe I'm trying to remember for our purposes and our episodes, how we're doing this here at Pauka for the end run of the show. So, last episode was Save Summer. This episode is Night of the Living Pharmacist, and next episode will be Phineas and Ferb Star Wars. So, looking at those three episodes on the wiki, Phineas and Ferb Save Summer was 5 acts in the show of that cartoon. Night of the Living Pharmacist is 6 acts in this one, and then Star Wars is 7 acts in that cartoon. Wow. So as I said I believe I said in Act Your Age, they've gone past the 11 minute double, to be 22 minute, blah, 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 2 single episodes. They've gone past that, and they've gone into full on cartoon special movie mode moments of like 5, 6, 7. Where's 8? Like, Put on your tap shoes, Ferb. Let's start dancing here. Let's start nerdy dancing or something because, yikes. Oh boy, the math on that. Jeebers. But I just wanted to point that out because I'm like, it just keeps building and building and building. But Night of the Living Pharmacists.
In here!
But Buford, that's...
Come on, you freaks! Fresh meat! Ah! Yippee-ki-yay, you pharmacist freaks! Yippee-ki-yay! Gotcha me!
Doofenshmirtz's latest inator accidentally turns the citizens of Danville into contagious, mindless, repulsive pharmacists that look like him over town.
So repulsive.
Yes, so repulsive. Perry and the gang must work together to save Danville and avoid becoming mindless, repulsive pharmacists themselves. Dun, dun, dun. Oh my God. Could this be more of a Doofenshmirtz episode than it actually is? No, it couldn't.
I don't think you could cram any more Doofenshmirtz into this episode.
No, you really can't. I mean, dang.
It's a really good episode, though. I mean... That's just because Doofenshmirtz is such a likable character, but yeah, I like horror movies. I'm a horror movie buff. And,
yeah, you are.
And I really like zombie movies. I mean, because who doesn't like zombie movies?
That would be me.
Really? Something wrong with you.
Yes,
we've established this. Yes,
yes, we have. After 17 years, yes, we have. Here's the thing: it's not about the zombie movie genre specifically. It's not about a specific zombie. Like, I didn't see Evil Dead and be like, ugh. It's about the trend of the crowd, of everybody. And
What do you mean? You mean like horror zombies or like?
No, I mean like, oh my God, everybody in the world has to go watch these zombie movies and it's okay. So we're both Transformers fans. We've been Transformers fans since we were, basically born, even though we were born before Transformers was a thing. But when Transformers exactly. But you were 11 actually. But sure. You were 11, I was 4. God, I can do that math in my head so fast. It's so easy. See, this is the thing, folks. With Transformers, it's so easy because I know it so much. And the same thing with somebody who is a zombie movie aficionado. And I'm just thinking, but it's just actors who have their arms out going, brains. I don't get it. It is what it is. I don't like.
Yes, it depends on like what sub-genre of zombie movie you're going for, because you can have Night of the Living Dead, which is essentially what looks like people with baggy bags under their eyes, or like they hadn't slept, right?
Yeah.
We just crawled out of the grave. We just look really tired. And then, you have brains, I'm limping because I've got rigor mortis, and then you get into like 28 days later where they're running at you.
Yeah.
They can outrun you and they will chew on your face,
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of the shambling corpse zombie, which is you've got like chunks missing and I love those. You got to shoot him in the head. Aim for the head.
Yeah, aim for the head, folks. That's right. No, I don't do the closest thing that I have been able to. And that's the thing. Like you're talking about the shambling corpse thing with the body parts falling. Like that's
Walking
too much.
Dead.
Yeah, that for me, that's gory. I don't like gore. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't do gore. But the closest thing that I've ever been able to get through and not have an issue with is What If. I believe it was season 2 of What If. They did Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies.
Yeah. And that was fine. It is what it is.
Surprisingly graphic for a Marvel cartoon.
Yes, but that cartoon is made for us. That cartoon is made for adults. That cartoon is not made for children.
Okay, sure. I'll buy that. To a certain extent. I mean, there's some adult themes in some of those cartoons. But,
No. Marvel What If, specifically, the Marvel What If series that ran or is running. I think it already ran its 3rd season. I think the 3rd season is the final season.
Yes,
it was. That. Yeah, it was. So the 3rd season of Marvel What If is the final season. Okay. Look here, man. You don't have Jeffrey Wright as the voice of the Watcher doing all this stuff, and you don't have all these. That's not for kids. That
Wright also in The Walking Dead.
Yes, exactly. But that to like maybe for teenagers.
Yeah, or maybe
okay. Compare that to Batman the Animated Series when I was 12 years old in 1992.
That was some pretty adult stuff back then. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying when I say What If is not for kids. Kids, like I said, maybe 15, 16, 17, sure, I could see. But anybody under 15 years of age, What If is not for them.
Yeah. I'll buy that. I mean, I just saw the episode with Agatha. Agatha Goes to Hollywood, and
oh god, I haven't watched season 3 yet. I need to get.
That was pretty wholesome, actually. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Agatha, can we put a hole through Agatha's head, please? Just.
Did you see the series?
No,
she actually has a hole in her head at the end.
Oh my god!
Wow, you predicted it. Holy cow!
Oh no, I didn't predict nothing.
Wow, spoilers. Much?
No, no, that's not a thing.
All right, then.
Not a thing. All right. Night of the Living Pharmacists.
Yes.
What do you got?
Well, I mean, I mentioned it briefly, but it's like all the horror movie references. We have some Alfred Hitchcock in there, which was awesome. We've got cameos from Shaun of the Dead. We got Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, both in there.
Yeah.
Which I was not expecting that, but it was amazing. I mean, I was like, we're gonna go down to the pub, we're gonna have a pint, then we're gonna write off the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Buford. I don't want to say parrots, but he repeats one of the best horror movie lines of all time by the late great Bill Paxton.
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Game over, man. Game over.
Game over.
Yeah, that was awesome. There was a whole tribute to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
And I am a huge fan. We used to go at midnight to see the show in the late night double feature picture show by RKO. And yeah, I mean, and when they did it, it was like, it's like Candace, Phineas, Candace, Isabella, Ferb. And there's no. Ferb doesn't say anything, but there's a because that was the Rocky line, and Rocky didn't speak, and it was so much fun. I laughed so hard. It was just it was pretty amazing. There was so many good lines in this. I mean, I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought.
That's right.
I laughed. I mean, I immediately recognized it, but when Ferb said it, I was like, "Oh my god!" Actually, let him say that. Yeah.
I hope you're proud, Harold. I hope you're proud.
He is.
Any ideas?
I got nothing.
Ferb?
I'm petrified beyond all capacity for rational thought.
But yeah, it was. There were a lot of good moments. There was a lot of Vanessa. Which, is always welcome. We actually had Fireside Girls singing.
Yes, which I could do without.
Well, I mean, it was weird because they don't, but they don't. How should I put it? It was like, why are they singing about this particular topic when there's Night of the Living Dead going on outside? I mean, there probably better songs that they could have, have alluded to something more horror related, which would have been hilarious.
So the songs, really quickly, since we're talking about, since you mentioned that, the songs that are in the episode. Disco Miniature Golfing Queen is an instrumental. It's the from when Stacey did that episode. That's whatever. The Quirky Worky song, which is in every episode. We got Jump Right to It. What?
That's the one. Jump Right to It.
Yeah. We got Jump Right to It. We got Army of Me, Triangulation, and Lots of Me. So Jump Right.
So dumb.
Oh, triangulation. So behind the scenes, folks, we've been trying to record this episode for 3.5 weeks. I don't know when you're going to hear this, but as of this recording, March 11th, 2025, we've been trying to record this for 3.5 weeks. I've heard that goddamn triangulation song 3 times because I've watched this episode 3 fucking times. I hate that song. I love Isabella, but I hate that fucking song.
Yeah, no, it's just so kind of a weird. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot of singing in this. I mean, aside from Lots of Me, which was that was a good song. I mean, I liked that one. And when I think about this episode, that's really the only one that I really remember. That's the one that stands out, and they actually repeat it in the end credits.
Yeah.
That was,
The funny thing about, in this whole episode, the greatest takeaway I have is all of the Doof infected people. Lots of me, lots of me, lots of me. They get around him and he asks them to do something. They start going, less of me, less of me, less of me. He's like, oh, great. I forget what he actually says, but he's like, I finally have enough of me around and I can't get them to do anything for me, or whatever it is that he says. But it was just the irony of he created this army and they won't do anything actually for him. And it's like, oh, God. And the introduction, I was like, again, because I had never seen that. I had stopped watching by this time. Like, I had seen the Star Wars thing because it's Star Wars. But I don't remember watching this on TV. I don't remember watching it on whatever service or whatever it was on before it hit Disney Plus. The intro to this is not the normal intro. No. That is amazing.
Yeah, the intro is very 1960s horror movie.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure which horror movie. I mean, I want to say it was like some Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
But I can't say for certain. I'm sure it says somewhere in the wiki and I just missed it. But I was like, yeah, they were definitely going for that, kind of 1960s horror movie vibe.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of those, growing up with, near Chicago, right, we have Son of Svengoolie. And Svengoolie would always have Rich Coase, right, if you're familiar.
Yeah.
He'd always have, the black and white horror movies.
Interesting. Very cool, very cool. I'm trying to find if we have any behind-the-scenes things of the intro, and I don't see it. The only thing I do see is, which is interesting, Dan Povenmire made it clear that the entire episode was canon instead of a film Stacey was watching, and that the end card on Stacey's TV was merely the title card of the Grievance movie she was watching. Because the way this ends, it makes it seem like she was watching this episode, and she wasn't. She was watching
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't get that either.
Yeah, that is not how I got it. I mean, she had this whole side arc where she was completely oblivious to the pharmacist invasion. Mm-hmm. And, had a few close calls, didn't realize it, but she managed to completely set up her own audio-visual setup and watch the Grievance series by her lonesome. And this is like The Grudge,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's essentially what it is, yep.
Yeah, so she's watching all 4 episodes of The Grudge by herself, on the TV that she set up. Only messed it up once. But yeah, that's no easy feat.
Oh,
and she had to go outside and turn on the generator. So
that's right.
Historically, that's when you die.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't go outside by yourself in the middle of a zombie apocalypse because that's how you get your brain eaten. Want your brain eaten? That's how you get your brain eaten. Yeah, that's
okay. Now I'm going through the list of the.
You're reading.
Yes, I'm reading. They go through the list of the order of the citizens that got transformed, and they go through several of the animal agents, and one of the agents is Agent G, and so we got Agent GOMC, and then Agent KBR. I'm like, oh, it's a good thing they didn't list Agent KGB together.
Agent Putin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, well, how should I put it? I want to say, that might have been my least favorite part. Was, now we've got zombie agents, and they were less zombie-ish.
Yeah.
Or I should say less Doofenshmirtz-ish. Right?
Yeah, they were not very Doofenshmirtz-ish.
No, they were all clearly, animals. But
yeah,
I thought it was weird that all the humans turned into Doofenshmirtz. And exact copies with the animals.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm still clearly a duck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they do say, well, it must have a different effect on the animals. I mean, at least they say that, like, at least there isn't an explanation for it. I mean, there isn't a good one, but they do specifically say, oh, it must have a different effect on the animals. Just kind of turns them evil versus turning them good.
Turns them evil. That was the other thing, is like, what exactly happened to them? Because they're not doing the Doofenshmirtz thing, but they're acting more like they were before they turned. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
But what was cool, though, is that a lot of people got turned, right?
Yep.
And it was almost like all the recurring characters through the season all showed up, right? So you've even got the giant baby head floating in there somewhere. You've got the weatherman in there. You've got, I can't remember all the names, but there were like the news guy.
Yep.
You know, it's like, well, we've seen him a few times. Oh, now he's a zombie. Yeah. You know, so it's like they kind of had like a last hurrah for associated characters that didn't show up during the last episode, or I should say the final episode of the series. You know, they where they wanted to focus on our main characters. Now is the time to kind of drag out a lot of these supporting characters that we don't get to see very often. And there were a lot of like townspeople that I wondered, like, is that like the cartoon version of like one of the producers or something?
I mean, they've put cartoon versions of the producers and things like that in there.
It's like did the storyboard artists make a cameo? Yeah. We just didn't know. You know,
like you've got Martin the news vendor that got turned.
Yeah,
that's listed here.
Did a leaky graph show up? You know, we just didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I was trying to see if he was.
Somebody would know, but I mean, there's a lot of these people, townspeople, random townspeople, where it's like they look more specific, let's say, than your average, background townsperson. It's like they were trying for a caricature of somebody who is a real person.
Yeah.
They don't just have a triangle head, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think going through this list, because again, the list on the Wikipedia page for the Phineas and Ferb wiki, it says the order of known citizens transformed, and they go in the order that they were transformed. I kind of wish we had, like, you got Lawrence and Linda who got transformed kind of together. Yeah. I kind of wish we had Jeremy and Candace get transformed together, but Jeremy was transformed between Gordon Guts of an Emu and Beppo Brown, and then Candace was transformed between Buford and Perry. So, but it is what it is. And then
as they start closing in, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Our foreground characters, let's say, start getting transformed.
Yeah, Candace, Perry, Vanessa, Ferb, Phineas, and Isabella was the last one to get transformed.
We may be the only non-pharmacists left in Danville. I think I figured out where this started. And if we could get there, we might be able to figure out how it started and reverse it.
Wait, how did you find out where it started?
And, like, I get what Doof was going for. He wanted to make his brother ugly, and it backfired because, I don't know.
It seems like he's tried to do this before. I mean, he's tried to make his brother like less attractive, or less articulate, or something that would cause him to not be mayor.
Yes, he's done this before. This is just a different way of doing it, and somehow this backfired in a way to get lots of him.
Clearly, that was an accident. I don't think he
yeah, he didn't mean to do that, but like, I don't dislike the episode. I thought it was fun, but it was just like, what did you think was going to happen? Because if we are thinking that this universe and I know this is way out there, folks, trust me, I get it. As I've often said, I've often stolen the line from Kevin Smith and from Ben Affleck in 2001's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Fictional characters, we get it. I know it's fake. It's make believe. It's pretend. It's whatever. Sure. But if we look at this universe and we look at everything Doofenshmirtz has done, every time he's tried to make Roger ugly or try to make Roger look bad, it always backfires on him. Or in this case, specifically, the ugliness is him. Like, you try to turn your brother, the mayor, into yourself so you can take over. Like, the logic behind that doesn't make any sense. Like, I get you want to turn him into a zombie or turn him into somebody who's dumber than he actually is, or turn him into somebody who, like, somehow to... the way that Doof tries to link the logic of how he could become mayor.
Yeah.
Not just this episode, but every episode does not fucking work at all. Every time. Never
the logic
works.
falls through a little bit. I should say, should we put it? I mean, honestly, I think we've had this conversation before where it's like, the logic is sound. It could work, but eventually, something happens. The intersection of the A story and the B story causes some unforeseen event, and it doesn't pan out. Whereas here, it does pan out. It just has unexpected, results. Let's say.
Yeah. The results were
how I think they were. Yeah, they got in like a fight, and or there was fighting, and it accidentally went off and shot his brother, and he was like, "Oh, look, it worked."
Yeah, but again,
one of those occasions where Agent P didn't thwart the plans. There was no unexpected self-destruct button.
Yeah. There was no unexpected self-destruct button. That's the thing. It worked absolutely, but it worked in a way that Doof was like, "Oh crap!
Oh, this is bad. I may have accidentally destroyed the world." Oh, that was the other funny thing is at the end. It was like, well, great. We've restored all the townspeople within the town square, except outside of this giant wall.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute.
We don't go out there.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
It was very Last of Us. It was very, what was Attack on Titan? It's like, they've reached Wall Maria.
Oh my God! Yeah,
everybody fall back to the center wall. But that was funny. I liked that.
And that was very. Very
so I know this episode was very clever, and unlike some of the previous, movie length episodes that we've seen in the last couple of episodes, this one not only kept my attention, but kept me entertained.
Yeah.
And I was just consistently happy with, all of the allusions and the references and the lines were just really funny.
Absolutely. I completely agree. I mean, yes, folks, as podcasters, we do watch things multiple times and stuff because we usually have to do that. But it's one of those things where every time I've watched this, I've enjoyed it every time. I haven't enjoyed it. Like, I haven't gotten more enjoyment out of it every time, but I've enjoyed it every time. I haven't, how when you rewatch something multiple times and by like the third or fourth time, you're like, okay, I can step away from it and I can wait 5-10 years before I watch it again kind of thing. And that's probably where I am now with this episode. But when I was watching it to make sure I had enough to talk about for the podcast, it was like, oh, here we go. This is cool. This is fun. And again, I will start using lots of me, less of something else. I'll start using that in everyday life now. Because damn, that's awesome. I love lots and less.
lots of me. I'm not, well, how should I put it? I don't know where that came from.
I don't know where it came from, but I freaking love it.
Yeah. It's just like, that's just what we're going to say. It's not like brains.
Yeah.
That's what I would expect.
And I think that's why I like it so much, because it's something different for a zombie-like character to do that isn't fucking brains. And it's so funny because when we were trying to get this episode recorded, folks, a couple of the messages I sent Michael were lots of Pauka, less of Destiny 2, less of Destiny 2.
The new season just started. Come on.
I don't care. You got all the time in the world to do that any other day.
I suppose. Yeah.
But no, this is such a fun episode. There isn't anything.
It was fun.
Even though I'm not the biggest horror person in the world, I have gotten to the point now where I respect and I enjoy certain parts of it. And Doof is hilarious. And Doof copies of himself doing zombie things is just hilarious. And seeing how Vanessa, oh my God, his freaking daughter. Like her and her friends. Forget about Candace and Jeremy and the Fireside Girls and all of that, all of the quote-unquote goody characters in this episode. Look at Vanessa and and Johnny and their friends. Oh my God, how they react. They're like, I got to go to the basement. We should split up. Let's do this. Let's do that. Like, they do everything.
I'm going to go hide in this room full of knives.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, knives out, people.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think it'd be best if we ducked behind this wall of chainsaws. You know,
Yeah.
I think that would be the best idea. Candace was the one that stepped up and said, "Whoa, hold on a second. You're all gonna get murdered. You realize this?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I say, goth chicks are a national treasure, and we should rally around them and make sure they're safe and protected.
Absolutely.
This is where we fell down in this episode.
That's the knife we fell on.
Well, they fell on. But yeah, there was at some point there was a kind of a mention of, it's like, I'm not a pharmacist. Why do people keep thinking I'm a pharmacist?
Yeah.
I know nothing about pharmaceuticals.
It's the lab coat. It's got to be the lab coat.
Got to be the lab coat. At some point, he says, it'd be funny if I actually became a pharmacist, and that would just show them.
Yeah, that'll show them.
That'll show them. Then who'll have the last laugh as I prescribe myself medications.
That's right. Anything else about Night of the Living Pharmacist you'd like to discuss, sir?
Yeah, man, I just had it. It was just on the tip of my tongue, and now, that's what. There was a whole subplot about Isabella trying to tell Phineas about her feelings.
Yep.
And this has been done to death already in this season, culminating in Act Your Age. Right.
Yep.
Where at the end they finally is like, "What? You didn't tell me all those years, and I had no idea." And she finally tells him, and he's like, "Oh my God, I had no idea. Wow, this is amazing." And then, in fact, I want to say that it was actually somewhere in the animations, where they were supposed to kiss, and they said, "No, we're not going to do that."
Yeah.
Because we've already done it, and not only have we already done it, but we made them forget once.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course they forget, because after they're turned into into pharmacists, right, and then turned back, they lose all their memories. They don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just a shame.
Yeah, that's a shame, because again, this is why. So if you look in the list of how the episodes ran, or how whether the production order or the air date order, if you look in the continuity of how the series is supposed to go, I still think Act Your Age and The Last Day of Summer should be the final two episodes of the series. Because Act Your Age is the adult future of our characters, and Last Day of Summer is, from what I remember, without actually, I'm not looking at the wiki anymore, and I haven't watched the episode yet, obviously. Yeah. But from what I remember, it's basically them saying goodbye. They're all going back to school. Right. They're all going back to whatever.
Right.
Like that should be the order. The order should not be.
Yeah. I don't understand how this Halloween episode ended up at the end of the lineup.
So we got
especially since there was already two other separate Halloween episodes on Halloween.
Yeah.
Or they were aired somewhere around Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we get We get the inator method. We get Act Your Age. We get Save Summer. We get Night of the Living Pharmacists, which is where we are now. We get Star Wars. We get Last Day of Summer. So basically, what you needed to do was take Act Your Age and Star Wars and just flip-flop them. So put Star Wars in between the inator method and Save Summer or something. So that way Act Your Age would be next to penultimate to Last Day of Summer. I don't know. You know what? It's their show. They can do whatever the hell they want. I'm just saying, like you brought up, what's the point of having her tell him her feelings in this specific episode? What was the point of that now? Yeah. When we already saw the whole thing play out in a previous episode.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
How about giving him a fireside guy patch or something where he has to do something like where he get like
I think he actually gets the fireside guy patch.
I don't know.
Well, I want to say he has he's there once their rubberization wears off and they have to wear impromptu, kind of hazmat suits. He gets a hole ripped in one, and she gives him the patch to.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I'm saying,
technically, he does get the patch.
Technically, he does. Okay, all right. I don't know, man. That still doesn't take away my enjoyment from this episode, but it muddles it. It muddles the continuity of Phineas and Isabella, since we already saw all of the feeling things already happen in Act Your Age. So,
right.
Act Your Age, go from that, do whatever you're going to do. Last Day of Summer, if you do anything with their feelings there, fine.
Yeah.
And then just end it. Because after Last Day of Summer, we go to Candace Against the Universe. Which, oh God.
Honestly, I don't think I've actually ever seen that.
I thought you did watch it at one point. Anyway, we're watching it, so.
I'm gonna watch it. I just don't think I have before. I mean,
all right.
I don't remember. Maybe I did. Right. Once I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I think I've seen this before, but I don't remember watching it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about the pharmacists and the Night of the Living?
No, I mean, I think that maybe we could have seen more people get turned into zombies. I mean, Rodney being a zombie would have been perfect. That would have been, poetic justice, right?
That would have been his worst nightmare. Can you imagine Rodney pontificating right before he gets turned? Lots of me. Oh my God, that would have been hilarious. Oh, I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
So funny.
It would have been funny. Also, to revisit that, I think I need the wiki to stretch a little bit and find out who those unnamed characters actually were. It's like, oh yeah, that guy there, he's the producer, or that guy there, we know that guy. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What are we rating Night of the Living Pharmacist 0 to 5 with half points?
It's definitely getting a 5.
Absolutely, 100%.
Fantastic show. Yep. I love this one. I didn't mind at all that it was an entire hour.
Yep. Out of the specials so far, this one did not, because of how the pacing was in it and how the story progressed, it went by so fast for me. It didn't feel like this, even though I watched it 3 times. It didn't feel like I watched 3 hours of the same cartoon. It just felt like, I don't know.
You saw something different every time? No, I mean, yeah. I think there's a lot going on here. I mean, it's not just an A story and a B story. There's a lot going on. And that's before Shaun of the Dead shows up. It's like,
it's very true.
Are you insinuating that my clothing is alive?
Yes, I am.
Well, the lab coat had to come from somewhere.
It's kind of like Spider-Man. Your webbing comes out of your body? Yeah, isn't that cool?
Ew.
How did you get your webbing? I made web shooter. Oh my god! No way home.
Like a tool sits on my wrist.
Exactly.
You know,
I made it. It's technology.
Web powers, go.
Yeah, go web, go. That's right.
Web, go.
That's right. Go web, go. I love. Oh man, I have that clip. Oh god, I use that all the time. I love go web, go. Toby is amazing. All right, folks. We're going to go to a quick podcast ad break. Here's some podcast ads and some other stuff. We'll come back to close the show right after this.
Strange and unusual.
Same old, come on!
Hello, geeks and geekettes! Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics? Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks, every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Are you missing entertainment in your life? Welcome to Captain Ruggles Gaming. Whether it's guides, roleplay content, or our shenanigans with our collaborations with the 20 years standing strong Fart Clan, also known as Fast Action Response Team, or the Wrecking Crew, we have something for everyone. So join us when we traverse the cosmos of space games, survive the undead in zombie games, or just having fun in first-person shooters or random indie games. Visit us now at geekcastradio.com and youtube.com/@Captain Ruggles, or Google search Captain Ruggles Gaming. It's game time, and I'll see you out on the battlefield.
Because the world needs another movie podcast.
The Geekcast Radio Network presents for your listening pleasure the Cinema Geek.
Hosted by Amanda, Kevin, Matt, and Dan.
Each week we dive headfirst in the landscape of movies as we discuss movie news,
play movie games,
go in-depth on reviews,
and even have a top 10 countdown or two.
Also, don't miss our director retrospective series, where we review noted directors' movies film by film.
Bottom line is, if you love movies and love podcasts, you need to experience the Cinema Geeks.
You can find us on iTunes or geekcastradio.com.
Are you in need of what the heck did I just listen to? Are you in need of a laugh at the expense of the internet? Boy, do I have a treat for you. Here at Lyrically Audacious, we turn just about anything into music. Visit us now at youtube.com/@Lyrically Audacious, all one word. So swing by, have a laugh. Stay lyrical, stay audacious, here at Lyrically Audacious.
For the best in science fiction, join Mark Baumgarten, Vicky Jakubowski, Zion Kiros, and Juan San Miguel on the award-winning podcast Marku 42's Universe. Doctor Who, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Star Trek, and more are all fair game with Marku 42, which has been around since 2012 in one form or another. Marku 42's Universe is proud to be a part of Geekcast Radio Network, the best place to get your geek on. Listen to us bi-weekly or weekly if we have a topic relevant for you, our listeners. Marku 42 on Geekcast Radio Network, a match made in a galaxy near you.
Do you like the Transformers?
Yes.
Do you like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
Do you like IDW Comics?
And comic book podcasts?
Then come check out Ninjas and Bots. Each week we look at an issue of Transformers
or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from their IDW Comics incarnation. We drop episodes every Saturday morning.
Just like the cartoons we loved as a kid. The show can be found on your favorite podcatcher and at johnreadscomics.com.
See you then.
Hi,
I'm Dan, and I'm the host of the Rock Nerd Radio Show, which airs live on HudsonRiverRadio.com every Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It also gets backed up as a podcast, which you can find on your preferred podcasting platform. Every week on my show, I talk about all kinds of pop culture. I talk about music, I talk about movies, TV, comics, collectibles, and so much more. I also feature a guest on my show periodically, which you might enjoy. I have a couple of special segments on my show, one called The Cover Song of the Week and My Favorite Thing in the World This Week. If you think this sounds cool, check it out sometime. I hope you do.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk...
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download the show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
There's always lots of spare parts laying around here. I like to tinker.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yep, I'm working on it. All right, folks, stop laughing, damn it. We are back. Stop laughing, damn it. We are back here inside PALCA, the podcast organization without a cool acronym. This is episode 104. We made it through the summer, but we're not done yet. Yeah. But we're not done yet because we have more that is coming for Phineas and Ferb.
Right? It's not like 108.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. We got Candace Against the Universe, and then we're going to do... we have Phineas and Ferb Star Wars, which is next.
Star Wars, yeah.
We have Last Day of Summer, Alka Files, and then Candace Against the Universe, and then we're going to do some top countdowns, and then we're just going to wait for whenever season 5 comes. So, it's supposed to be here this year. Hopefully they do it in the way they have been doing things, where it is a Disney Plus series versus actually being on the Disney Channel.
Oh, I don't know. I've got Disney Channel.
I haven't had cable in years.
We cut the cord. I don't remember what cable's like.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? We were talking about Nickelodeon. Oh, the Thundermans.
The Thundermans?
The Thundermans the kids from the Thundermans are back, and I'm like, yeah, she looks pretty good for 30. And my son's like, she's not like 30. And I'm like, well, I remember when the Thundermans were on TV and they started, she was like 11. And then by the time, 5 or 6 seasons later, she's 20. It's like she's not a teenager anymore. She's that girl's in her 20s. And that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So now she's got to be in her 30s.
The time is...
Well, they put her back in the spandex, so I can't.
Hey, as long as they can fit in the spandex, I guess. I mean,
right.
I don't know.
But again, the conversation led to, wow, how long has it been since we've had Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
I mean, we have the Paramount Channel, and I think Nickelodeon's on Paramount. Or
it is.
Certain shows from Nickelodeon are now on Paramount, but
because Paramount owns Nickelodeon, so.
Yeah, how long has it been since we've actually watched the Nickelodeon channel? And it's
been forever.
Years.
Yeah, it's been forever. Yeah,
it's a shame too because I really liked watching Nick. We had like Nickelodeon, Nick at Night, and Adult Swim, and actually
those Cartoon Network.
But yeah, same thing. I haven't watched Cartoon Network in forever. No. Now I remember we were in a hotel room. We went down to Indianapolis, and they had actual cable.
Yeah.
So we were going through the actual cable, and we ended up watching something on Nickelodeon. And I remember what did we watch? Oh, it was Hotel Transylvania 2 we watched. and it had commercials, and I'm like, what? And then one of the commercials was the Thundermans, and I was like, holy cow, do you remember these guys? You were little. You were like really little. We used to watch way too much Disney when the kids were really young, and then when they got a little bit older, it was way too much Nickelodeon.
Yep. Yeah, when Karen and I would stay at hotels, the first thing when we were going to sleep, first thing I would do is look at the channel guide, find HLN, because at the time, HLN, after 10 p.m. Eastern Time, sometimes 9 p.m. Central Time, depending, they would run Forensic Files all night. And Peter Thomas's voice, may the man rest in peace. Peter Thomas was 91 when he passed, but he was the voice. Yeah. Oh, man. Dude, I don't care. He can talk about poisoning. He can talk about shooting. He can talk about whatever kind of murder you can think of. It's his voice. It's the sound of his voice in the way he talks about the crimes. It's just like, I go to sleep to Forensic Files every night. It's just the easiest thing to do. It's I don't know. It's just a thing. Anyway.
All right. That's too bad he's dead. You could have had him read the phone book or something.
Well, that's why I have Forensic Files on YouTube, all 14 seasons.
Now he's on Cameo, You can
stop it. Oh my God, stop. Because
What? Was he on Cameo? Did you miss out?
No, but there was somebody else on Cameo that I was going to get to do something. Okay. And that would be, I don't know if he's still doing stuff or not, but that would be Mr. Victor Caroli.
Oh, okay. Sure.
The year was 2005. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, okay, how many Funko Pops do I have to sell to get voice clips from Victor Caroli before heaven forbid?
I wonder. Yeah, well, I don't think that's the same. Will they basically say anything you ask them to?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, within reason, but yeah.
Sure. All right.
I mean, they're getting paid.
Over the years, there's been a lot of times where we have said, it'd be hilarious.
Yeah. But within reason. Like, I mean,
we get David Kaye to sing that Barney song. Because I know he's on Cameo.
Yep.
$200 later, we've got Megatron.
Exactly. Yeah.
Barney song.
Yep. So, all right, Phineas and Ferb, folks. So coming up next, we got Star Wars. So Phineas and Ferb, Star Wars is the next thing. Yep.
Is that before we do Last Day of Summer?
Well, Last Day of Summer is the last episode of the series. So, yes, Star Wars is next. And then Last Day of Summer.
Star Wars. I've already watched Last Day of Summer like twice. I was really
I know that's your fault. Okay.
I watched it instead of
He mixed up Save Summer and Last Day of Summer.
Yeah,
that's your fault.
And imagine my disappointment because
imagine your disappointment because blah blah blah.
I really liked.
So.
Anyway,
so Star Wars, Last Day of Summer, Alka Files, and then Candace Against the World or Against the Universe. So that's the order.
All right, we'll watch some Star Wars then.
Yeah,
like me some Star. I'm a huge fan of the Star Wars. We've done Star Wars episodes. How many Star Wars episodes have we done over the years?
I don't know.
Quite a few.
Not sure exactly, but yeah.
If I had a nickel for every time we did a Star Wars episode, I'd have more than 2 nickels.
Yep.
Which isn't a lot, but it's pretty neat that it's happened more than once.
After all, this is how you remind me. Thank you for joining us here on Falco. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content, including Palca and other podcasts that we do. We also have a brand new fourth wall store, shop.geekcastradio.com. You can check out all of our merch over there. Buy some stuff, folks. We got t-shirts up to 4XL. We got mugs. We got mouse pads, I think. We got gamer pads. We got other stuff. It's very, very cool. Very, very awesome. Send us an email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on any of the podcatching clients you choose to use. You can follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio for the network. I am at TFG1Mike. Did you X out of Twitter yet, or are you still over there?
I'm still on over there. I'm thinking about pulling the trigger on a Blue Sky. I'm on Threads.
I asked somebody the other day, does anyone actually use Threads anymore? And somebody was like, isn't Threads the newest one? I said, yeah, it is, but like it's the least one that I actually open out of all the social media apps I have on my phone.
You know, when I'm on Facebook, I'll be scrolling and there'll be a link to Threads.
Yep, because it's all meta.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why not just show me the thread as opposed to showing me a link to the thread? And inevitably, it's more interesting stuff than what I can find in Facebook. Yeah, so it's like, I mean, how should I put it? It kind of reminds me of what Twitter was like 10 years ago.
Yeah, for Meta, so Meta is Facebook, Instagram, Threads. I think WhatsApp is in there too, but I forget. Anyway, so Threads essentially is text-based Instagram that's trying to be Twitter from 2008, 2009. And it's kind of cool. It's kind of whatever. I kind of liked it at first because it was the new hotness. It wasn't old and busted like Twitter is. But I've got 16 years, 17 years into Twitter. I don't stay on Twitter. I go on Twitter. I make my posts.
I remember when Twitter was good. We'll put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. I remember when Twitter we actually had conversations on Twitter. We don't have conversations on Twitter anymore. They're posts, they're opinions, and you run away. That's what you do on Twitter. You don't stay on the platform. And oh God, somebody was like, and again, folks, this is completely off topic since I'm in the middle of the outro, but somebody was like the other day, I saw somebody do a reel on Instagram where they're like, TikTok changed everything. TikTok is like, you don't need to choose your content. We're going to give the content to you. We're going to show you the content that we know you really want. And I'm sitting here thinking, fuck no. I want to choose my content. I want to make my own choices. I want actual intelligence, not artificial intelligence. Like, I understand AI is the new big thing now, and that's fine, whatever else, but I will never install TikTok. I will never watch TikTok videos. I want to, like, perfect example, you walk into a toy store, you've got a Transformer, a Masters of the Universe figure, a DC superhero, a Marvel superhero, you can pick two. Okay.
Ooh, generous. Yes.
Okay, but my point is, like, instead of them saying here and here's your figures, and you don't get a choice, and they just shove them to you. No, TikTok didn't work. Not for me, it didn't. That was the point of this reel. They were saying TikTok worked by shoving content into people's faces and not giving them a choice of what they watched, but by scrolling through TikTok. And I'm like, nope.
I understand that. You know, that you have the same argument with like a Yelp, where it's like Yelp says, "Oh, hey, you know, here's some a choice of 3 restaurants in your area," and it's like, well, yeah, those are all sturdy choices, but it's not what I want.
Right, but they're giving you a choice. They're not just saying, "Here are 3 restaurants in your area. We think you should go to one of these."
These are the only 3 you can have.
Yeah. It's like McDonald's, Dairy Queen, and Burger King, except
like Taco Bell.
Yeah,
I'm going to Taco Bell. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Gives a crap. Yeah, I want to talk about it. It's like, you know, I'm looking for something particular. I'm looking for a high-end, nice restaurant that serves, you know, like chef food, let's say, for lack of a better term. And they're like, how about Taco Bell? I'm like, I don't want that. Just because 100% of the other people that are looking for restaurants in my area all go to Taco Bell doesn't mean that's what I want.
Yeah, exactly. I missed the Chocolate Sanctuary so much. It closed down a couple of years ago. Fucking hell. I missed that. That was high. That was fine dining. That was good.
That might have been. I was going to say that might have been one of the nicest meals you've ever had.
That's right. Absolutely. 100%. Yep.
I'm a bit of a snob, but I mean, honestly, if you can figure out a way to put chocolate in your steak, then I'm there.
That's right. So,
Chocolate
folks.
steak, man.
Yep. So, folks, become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/GeekCast Radio Network. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Palca. I wish you'll join us next time when we'll be giving you our thoughts on Phineas and Ferb, Star Wars. For now, I am TFG1Mike with
Michael Wilson.
Thank you for listening. Until next time. Oh, yeah, and unleash the geek in you.
Lots of me.